camaraderie. You know, I think that I work with the best team in college sports, period. Fowler, Herb Street, Corso. I mean, it doesn't get any better than those guys. And I think that our show is so successful because we have great chemistry. I mean, we all just genuinely like each other. We get along. We can go out to dinner and still have fun. You know, to me, our best times are on Fridays when we have our production meetings. And so that's the best part, working with the guys who I get a chance to work with.
A lot of young receivers on Florida State's side. You've had a couple games to analyze. What do you feel beyond the name guys like Rashad Green?
Well, I just think that the guys, you know, it's still early in the season. You know, the level of competition, I don't know if it's been great on a consistent enough basis to actually evaluate the young talent. So I think it's kind of still early to try to put a grade on, you know, how these guys are performing so far. At least for me it is, yeah. And it helps when you're playing with the Heisman Trophy winner throwing you the ball. That ain't a bad deal. Yeah.
As a Heisman Trophy winner, how does the most recent incident regarding Jameis impact, I guess, the voting and his chances at winning another Heisman?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, we're going to address that tomorrow, so I advise you to tune in. I don't know if we're getting to voting and how voters feel about that. The good thing for Jameis, I would say, is that it's early enough in the season that people, you know, it may not register as prominently if this happened in November. So, but we'll see how the season goes and, you know, what he's able to do. It's a long season, very long season. Anything can happen tomorrow night. It's not a foregone conclusion that, you know, that the Noles are going to win this game. Clemson's not going to come here and lay down.
As a voter, how important is the character aspect of the Heisman?
I don't know if you could put a number on how important it is, but it's important.
Other than maybe Johnny Manziel, can you think of another college athlete that's kind of been as polarizing as Jameis Winston recently?
No. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was very polarizing, correct? Tim Tebow.
Especially in this town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially these parts.
Speaking about this part, what is it like Tallahassee? I mean, when you come here, what's the atmosphere like when you guys are out there?
Well, I tell you what, you got a tough act to follow. I mean, they blew us away in Fargo. That was incredible. So you guys got a tough act to follow, you know.
As a wide receiver, what's the dynamic when you have Sean McGuire starting in the first half and then Jameis in the second half? Every quarterback's a little bit different in terms of, say, cadence and how he throws a ball.
Right.
What kind of dynamic is that for a wide receiver?
Well, I think the first issue is, like you said, the cadence. You know, you don't want the guys to have any false start penalties, but I think that shouldn't be an issue with wideouts because you're always taught to look at the ball anyway. Now, of course, we don't always do what we're taught. You know what I mean? We may go on the cadence because we hear the quarterback in the huddle or whatever tell us the cadence. So it shouldn't be an issue, but it might be an issue. Second issue is that the ball placement. You know, Jameis is a very accurate passer. You know, when he's on his game, one of the best in the business. Obviously, that's why he's a Heisman Trophy winner. And now you're dealing with a different quarterback who is going to throw with a different velocity, and the timing may not be what they're accustomed to. So you kind of just got to go with the flow. You know, you may have to make more difficult catches, but that's what you're there for. So it's going to be somewhat of a difference. I mean, it's not like they're going from a right-handed quarterback to a left-handed quarterback. That's a whole different ball game. But so we'll see. They have to make some adjustments. I don't know how much time they've had to practice with him, but I think that, you know, at the end of the day, they should be okay.
Do you think it's going to be added pressure on the defense since James won't be in there to save the first half?
Well, if it's constant 3 and outs, then it puts your defense in the bind. There's no doubt about that. Your defense can feel that pressure if it's constant 3 and outs. If they're able to sustain drives and you come away with some sort of points, field goals or touchdowns, then I think the defense will be fine. They'll be able to play their game. But yeah, if it's constant 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your defense.
Hey Desmond, the way that things keep reoccurring with Jameis, how do you think the university has handled the Jameis Winston off the field incidences that have happened over the last 2+ years now?
Well, based on the individual incidents, I think they've handled it as well as they thought they should handle it. Yeah, I'm not in the administration. I don't know what all the facts are that they have to contend with, you know, and obviously us as outsiders, we're only given a limited amount of information, limited amount of data, and they have the whole story. So, you know what, the crab leg incident, you know, that happened kind of like during baseball season, right? So whatever they did, they suspended them for some baseball games, and in this one here, they decided to suspend them for half a game. So,
what is that national perception starting to become though with Jameis?
I just think that when you discipline your student athletes, you have to do what you know is right and let the outsiders come to their own conclusion. You can't let the outsiders guide your discipline policy because you know more than they know.
How important is it for us not to be complacent?
It's very important. As a team, oh man, we see upsets every week. So, you know, I think this is very important not to be complacent as a team. And, you know, that's the challenge though. When you've had as much success as the Seminoles have had, you know, going back to last year, obviously, then that's the challenge for Jimbo Fisher, for his coaching staff, and for the senior leaders, you know, the leadership of the teams, to make sure that the team doesn't become complacent and still have that fight, still have that hunger to go out there and play at a very high level, no matter who the opponent is.
Desmond, when you won the Heisman in '91, you struck the Heisman pose, and some people trace that pose back to you. Do you ever take credit for that, or what do you think about it?
Do I take credit? What do you mean take credit? What does that
do you
mean?
Do people ever come up to you and say, you know,
do people give me credit for what I did?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
I guess.
Do I take credit for what I did? I don't get it. That's what you asked me, though.
Do you take? I guess. Did you expect it to people to emulate that, or? I
was just a kid having fun. I didn't know that it would take off. I mean, you know, you don't know that. You just do it. It was like, and it only lasted maybe a fraction of a second. You know, it's not like I was sitting there posing for like 30 seconds. You know, it was just a kid trying to have fun. Obviously, I'm from Ohio. Ohio State, Michigan's the biggest rivalry in college football in my eyes. So I wanted to do something special that day. I must have scored probably 20-some-odd touchdowns that year. That was the only time I ever did anything besides hand the ball to the official.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson for Clemson, how realistic
Speaking
is
of him, we talked about him.
I'm talking about
Speaking of Deshaun, did you just ask me about Deshaun? I was just saying, did I miss something in that question? No, I'm just joking. Go ahead,
about
buddy.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
How big of an impact can he make on Saturday night?
Well, he's you know, dual threat quarterback with the ability to keep plays going, keep plays alive with his legs, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Obviously, you would be concerned with if they do make him sit in the pocket and try to beat you with his arm. Is he that accurate? Or will he be that effective? So that's the, you know, the impact. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, he's very athletic, but, you know, to me, I want to see a guy who can sit in the pocket and dissect you with his arm.